The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It is Thursday, the 14th day of July. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Linda's. I'm Philip Trott. She's Sherry Vanderpool. Leanna's going to be with us in a little bit to bring you her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Good morning to our awesome audience. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. We have got another really good one this morning as we welcome Khamani Fox of 7 South Productions to the show. Today's daily play is Bermuda Trivia with more cup match questions. Sherry, you ready?
I like you said it, Sherry. More
Sherry?
comment, Sherry. Phil, it is
Mhm.
Friday Eve. Come on, give me a
I
little
was wondering
Sherry.
I was wondering where you was going with that. Like,
Give me a
it's
little
not
bit of
Friday
Sherry
yet.
shake. Give me a little Sherry shake.
You're not getting no Sherry shake, no Hartman bounce, none of that from me
What?
today.
But I saw you chipping down the red last
Well,
month.
that's
What
a
are you
different.
talking about?
That was it was a special occasion.
That was a special occasion. How
Yes,
was your
very much
evening?
so.
How's your
Hmm?
evening on the I said, how was your evening? How was your night?
Um, it was cool, uneventful. Just going around the regular life. Nothing really special last night. How about
Phil,
yourself?
Phil is hilarious.
What I
Well,
do?
hmm.
Look, man, no, it was. I like a calm day. I like an
Yeah.
uneventful day, man.
Mine was pretty eventful. I have a lot going on, but I'm here,
Positive,
because
eventful, or
it was a mixture. It was a
okay?
mixture of positive and stress and everything. But me and my
Look.
concealer here, you can't tell what happened yesterday. And me and my concealer, my one side braid, and my
You did.
purple shirt are
You did.
doing
Yeah.
quite well this morning.
Okay.
So
Well, I got
welcome
my.
to
I'm trying to do my little light blue thing one today.
Okay, Phil, for
Cup
that
matching, man.
team. But
Yes, for that
anyway.
team. The one with the airport. All right. So yeah. So let's talk about a little question for the morning. So I don't know if everybody saw the article. Oh, was it in yesterday's paper?
I believe so.
Okay. So the article talked about how, and the headline was really kind of, some articles you read and you're like, this is a really inflammatory headline, and people kind of just run with the headline, but they don't actually read the article.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't one of those, because the article was kind of, to me, just as bad as the title, right?
Okay, Phil.
So the title was a child who can endure bullying will likely be a huge success.
Hmm.
And uh
Interesting
I don't know how
perspective.
I feel about that. I guess what they were trying to say is that I guess the sooner children go through bullying in life, the better, or the more better they'll be used to it, or
Or the more
the stronger they'll be on the other end.
yeah. So
And
what's the question then? Then
okay,
what's the
yeah.
question?
The question is, let me put the question up. The question is, what are your thoughts on bullying being used as a catalyst for success? Now,
Oh.
I had a lot of issues with the bullying piece because it wasn't so like I just like, why should somebody have to go through bullying in order to be a success? Why can't we, how about just don't bully?
Yeah. So the article highlighted that if you are bullied more often, bullied all the time, then, 10 to 15 years from now, you will probably be a success because you were able to endure this bullying from whatever aspect that is.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to get at. But like, and fortunately, um well, we go through and we look at like a lot of the comments and what have you. It seemed like everybody was kind of like, this doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
um so the the issue for me is when something like that does, like, we as adults, and we kind of understand this as adults, not so much when
Mm-hmm.
we're children, but we reach adulthood carrying trauma. You know what I mean? And it may not have to do with bullying. It may not have to do with anything anybody has intentionally inflicted on you. It
Right.
just maybe because of something that you went through. It was maybe your parents split up, or you had a death, in somebody close to you when you were extremely young. Like, trauma doesn't only happen when you're 5 years old. It can
Mm-hmm.
happen when you're 20, 25, 30 as well, right? But we all reach adulthood dealing with some type of trauma, whether we want to admit it or not.
Right.
Some trauma is less, some trauma is more. Some of us handle it better than others, right? I'm not here to say like, oh, those who don't handle it well, you're weak or you're soft or anything. Like, I don't believe in that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand um why we have to intentionally, like, why we have to say, okay, let's make sure that us, I don't think the article is saying this, but we shouldn't have to look forward to inflicting our young people with bullying to make sure that they come out a stronger person on the other end. Like, that's nonsense to
Yeah.
me.
I think in the article it stated something in regard to being able to take it on the chin, right? So
Yeah,
when you're in a boxing match, you take it on the chin and you get knocked down and you come back up. And it's the same premise, I believe, or the same outline that they're using. However, that is when you're talking about boxing and organized sport. That is one thing. When you talk about bullying, that's not an organized, and both people aren't coming to the ring both with the same intention. So when you look at it that way, it brings things into context, right?
yeah,
Now, the other end of it is, should a person be bullied and then understand at 5 years old, guess what? When you're 25, you're going to be so successful because Johnny pushed you down every day and took your school money. And trust me, you're going to be, premier of Bermuda, or you're going to be, the top exec at an exam company, or you're going to be so rich. Who at 5 years old understands that concept? No, being bullied does not make you successful at the end. Does it teach you some life lessons? Yes. Should we be encouraging someone to be bullied so that they can get these, understand to be successful at the end? No. Kids are traumatized. Kids have trauma. Bullying is a byproduct of something else that is going on. And
yeah, man.
to massage that and say go ahead and be do that, or for the victim to be like, it's okay because I'm going to be successful in 10 years, it's ludicrous.
Well,
It's,
the thing about it is, like, when you, like, how you talked about, you made the analogy of the boxing match. Like, I know it's not a surprise that I'm in the ring. Like, if I'm in the ring, it's not a surprise that somebody punched me in the face. If
Exactly.
if I'm in P5, I'm expecting that it's going to be a healthy learning atmosphere. Yeah, I'm not going to agree or disagree, or we may have disagreements with my fellow students or whatever. But then you kind of say, okay, you're going to trust the teacher if it comes to it to mitigate that type of stuff. I should not have to go to school feeling afraid that, am I going to be emotionally abused by another student today?
And I'm sorry, Phil. And then on top of that, so what if the child doesn't become successful and then turns into somebody who wants to seek revenge, right? And
Wow.
so then what do we have? All the things that we see in these headlines, correct?
Yep. And I think, just to give everybody context, like we were talking, the team was talking about this in the chat group yesterday, and I'm not going to get into detail, but some of us like shared some pretty traumatic things, right?
Hmm.
um and one, I can't remember who was mentioned, but somebody talked about, that's how we end up with these school shootings, like people coming back to the school and shooting up the place. And
Hmm.
then, through the course of the discussion, we talked about somebody, well, that's kind of an American example. Let's think of a Bermudian example. And I think Jamel was the one that pointed up. He says, you know what? Actually, like the way things are going, um, in Bermuda right now, like let's not count that out as a possibility that somebody could roll up into a school. We don't have AR-15s, but you never know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not out of the realm of possibility for something like that to happen here. So
Yeah.
we need to take this very seriously and understand that you know bullying has a lot of underlying scars that people don't that may not surface until later, and people hide this stuff, people repress this stuff, and sometimes people are successful in spite of these things, and sometimes
Mm,
these things like completely take over your life, you
right.
know.
As we stated before, there are some experiences or some things that the victim may have taken on as far as how they deal in certain situations. And the bully also comes with a whole lot of things. So it's something that it's across the board on both ends. Sometimes the bully isn't just person who uh, just becomes that. Something may be happening to him. So both of them can be victims in the same light.
I want to make sure, because I want to read some of the article.
Well, let's see what
um
the audience has to say. Let's see if they
yeah,
have
well,
any.
hold on, let me
Um,
let me let me just let me say this, let me read this part. So, and I'll try to be quick. In short, why are we so intent on protecting ourselves that we have lost, some might even say ridicule, our acceptance of simply being vulnerable? Think about it. Who gets bullied in the schoolyard? Whose opinion gets dismissed fastest in meetings? Who gets excluded, rejected, and scoffed at, even by relatives, regardless of how old we grow? And yet, who also dusts themselves off after such treatment and moves forward time and time again? Here's the irony. Show me a class of primary five students, and I'll show you who is most likely to be a huge success later in life. The child who is strong enough to endure the brutal, no holds barred verbal abuse being dished out by their peers. Equally, and perhaps tragically, I'll also show you a room full of wannabes who will most likely waste their entire existence chasing superficial goals, cutting corners, and climbing over top of each other in a vain effort to be noticed and adored. All right, so I'm
mm,
gonna leave that there for a second, let that digest. We'll go to some of the audience responses. David Michael R. Wilson says being bullied doesn't always build up resistance. Rather, you can become the next bully, or you can be someone who is unable to handle tough things successfully. Totally agree. Here's Jamel.
mhm.
You want to read Jamel?
For any success story from someone who has been bullied, like there's like 10 more negative ones. Not just sure justifying bullying should be permitted.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And
You know, I
I
don't.
think the like I was saying, I think the positive thing about this is that everybody kind of had the same take. Like, we shouldn't be saying, somebody, you know, oh, just the person that gets bullied is gonna be more successful. Like that. I don't know. Michelle White says no one should bully, nor should the victim accept that there is a positive purpose of bullying. It should, however, be an opportunity for learning about how to treat people that is successful. Yeah. So I think
Agreed.
I think that's the lesson. Like, you can use the bullying as a teaching experience, like a teachable moment, as they say. But to like I just can't accept that people that are the person that's going to be bullied is going to come out better on the other end.
Right.
Um,
and
I want
and that's
go
the
ahead,
other.
go ahead.
No, and that's the whole thing. Like at 5 years old, can we truly understand the outcome?
No, and we can't but we can't not even understand. Can we predict
Right.
like we can't predict that somebody who's going to be bullied, is gonna, like you said, become leader of the country one day, or become CEO of a corporation or some big success story. We don't know if that's going to happen, or the person going to end up at Maui. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like you can't. I would say the safer bet is to let's stop the bullying in the first place.
Right.
Um, we have I clipped this one comment that I think this was on Facebook that Jamel shared with us. It's by Alicia. I'm gonna butcher her last name. Mecene. That's her last name. I don't want to try and pronounce it.
Massini.
You're probably right. I'm sorry. That sounds the most likely one. She says, but she had a great point. A child who can endure bullying can likely be a huge success. Here's the major. I think she was quoting. Here's the major difference in narrative. So the first line, she was actually quoting what they were saying in the article.
Mhm.
Here's the major difference in narrative. In spite of bullying, not because of it. That's what she's saying. So a child who can
Mm,
endure bullying can likely be a huge success in spite of bullying, not because of it. There is an
yeah.
array of research that clearly illustrates the long-term negative psychological effects of bullying through to adulthood, not to mention how the chronic activation of stress hormones can impact one's health and physiology state long term. Bullying is abuse. We can celebrate the power in our inner resiliency without glorifying victimization. That trauma is a gateway to advancement. I know she
Yeah.
was very well said.
Yeah. And I
Um,
would like to hear from the audience, like
yeah.
if they had any bullying situations and how did they deal with them or how did they come out on the end of it? I don't recall ever being bullied. Um, I would say that because I was, here's that camel story again, Phil, you know, one of the, tallest, thickest children in primary school. So I don't think people looked at me to try to bully. Um, was I probably a little, I'm not a full bully, maybe a buh,
Yeah.
probably,
You was roughing people up.
probably doing a little elbow, like, we got
Yeah.
to debate, type of thing. But other
But
than
I
that,
it's and the thing is, like, people that get bullied often turn around and bully somebody else, so
yeah.
it's a knock-on effect. Brother Larry says, are we ready for the conversation of covering up bullying? That's,
Larry, I have to wait
I
till
don't
you
know.
come on. You're right about that. Are we
Renee
ready for
Simmons,
that?
go ahead.
I was thinking the same thing. Hurt people hurt people. A bully is a repressed victim who expresses bullying as a defense mechanism and will continue bullying until they get therapy. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, possibly therapy.
Charles Jeffers says, it sounds like the article should have focused on those who overcome adversity as opposed to bullying. Yeah, like I don't even really know
Mm,
what the angle was that they were trying to go on, but
I think the
it,
angle was very clear.
yeah, I mean, well, okay, the angle is clear, but I just don't know. I don't know why. Yeah, man, I don't understand what, like, for
Well,
those of us that have been bullied, like, and those of us who have been bullied and have become like overwhelmingly successful in life, not, you know,
mhm.
I'm I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about like people who have like really, you know, reached the upper echelons. But like, I don't know if anybody would say, boy, that bullying shaped who I am. I would go through it. I wouldn't change. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, I definitely get it. And I experienced that in high school more so than I did in elementary school. But um yeah, I think the article was very clear in what it was saying. This is what this person believed. That's why they wrote it. Might have been their experience within their group, but I don't think it's the outcome for the majority. And I think that's where we kind of lie in how the article is written to indicate, in my experience, this is what I've seen. But I
yeah,
don't think it's the majority of what the outcome has been for many.
yeah. All I know is like if I hear from school that somebody's bullying my boy, like I'm rolling up. And conversely, if I find out that he's bullying somebody else, I'm rolling up.
Okay.
Like I'm not. We don't have time for that.
My
Michelle
boy.
White says, "Sorry, yes, I was bullied and I punched her in her gut and winded her. She forgot I had two brothers. However, I felt bad and never hit anyone back. Did that make me successful? I'm not
Hmm.
messing with you. Sam
Yeah,
Cat
and
Place.
how was the article even allowed? And the person who wrote it isn't a psychiatrist expert. I was disgusted.
Yeah,
This
that
is
was
an
crazy.
opinion piece.
I don't know. Let's
Whether we like it or not, it
let's
was an
bring in
opinion piece.
Liana. Get her take on this.
Lead through Albert, sure.
Stop it,
She
Sherry. Don't choose violence on me, inflicting it on other
she
people
looked
this
like she
morning. What are
scratched
you
a couple
doing?
faces before.
Yes.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
This is an interesting conversation this morning because I'm a little confused as well as to where the article was going with it. I mean, I
Yeah.
see the angle they were trying to take, but I think I agree with Charles Jeffers II in it should have been more that, adversity shaped who I am or the challenges that I faced in life. It's how I became who I am, overcoming those challenges. But
Yeah,
I'm not sure that, like Phil said, anyone's screaming from the rooftops that bullying helped
made
shape
me
me.
what I am. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
Yeah.
I'm a little bit,
Yeah.
confused.
all right. What we doing next? Days of the year. Did I
No,
No,
do that
we're
now?
sir.
gonna do the
We're doing the
news, which
news
is why
first.
you
We're
brought
gonna
me
go,
in.
yeah, we're gonna go straight to Liana.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. No
So you
problem.
guys didn't notice my, beautiful Mighty Flats
You're green.
Victoria colors this
Yes,
morning?
Flax
Because
Victoria.
Nay.
it's
Connie
the
game is
first
this week.
county game on Saturday.
Cleveland Clowney.
See what I mean? No, you're wearing purple today. It doesn't matter. We are wearing green and pink.
Wow. It's
Lee.
it's
Bully.
starting.
It
All
doesn't
right,
matter.
Lee. Over to you.
I love how Sherry just tried to take my shine. Thanks, Phil and Sherry, and good morning and happy hump day to all of those who are tuned in with us this morning. I hope you all are having a great start to this day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, in today's top stories, one more COVID related death has been recorded after health officials released the latest update last evening, and numbers are gradually climbing. Now, Health Minister Kim Wilson offered her condolences to the family and loved ones of the deceased. The number of people now hospitalized has shown a sharp increase from the 5 at the last update a week ago to the current number of 28. None, however, are in the intensive care. Now, the minister has once again warned that actual COVID-19 numbers are being encountered with 321 positive new results and urged people to continue to take precautions. In other news, a case of he said this morning after a magistrate is apparently suing a senior for $35,000 in damages after crashing his BMW due to drink driving. Now, according to a report in the Daily, Kamisi Tukumbo appeared before Assistant Justice Jeffrey Alkinson yesterday in civil court to request costs and damages from Alan Robinson, who crashed his car after blacking out. Now, you might recall this story. The crash occurred on the evening of January 19th, 2019 on South Road near the public entrance to Elbow Beach in Paget after the pair, who are both said to be age 64 at the time, had been drinking alcohol. The car went off the road into the nearby embankment. Now, Mr. Robinson, who appeared as a lay litigant, made the case that Mr. Tukumbo should share the costs equally, as Mr. Tukumbo was aware that he had been drinking when he was allowed him to drive his car. Now, Mr. Alkinson reserved judgment on the case to allow Mr. Tukumbo's lawyer time to submit written legal submissions. And good news coming in from our athletes overseas today, as Bermuda claimed another medal at the Central American and Caribbean Amateur Swimming Confederation, or CCCAN, in Barbados. Maisha Sharif took the podium, winning the bronze medal in the 15 to 17 100-meter backstroke final. Now, the island had a number of swimmers in action, each doing a great job during the CCCAN finals. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 86 and a low near 77 degrees. There is some early cloud this morning and a few passing showers, which will soon give way to a sunny and bright day. Now, high pressure continues to build in from the south and east with mostly dry weather and partly cloudy skies. However, light to moderate winds coupled with daytime heating may aid one or two afternoon showers developing over the next few days. That's all for our Daily Hour news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Phil and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
There we go. That's what it is, Daily Focus. All right, Sherry, go ahead.
Myself. Well, today is Shark Awareness Day, and we celebrate the wondrous sea creatures that have had a bad rap for quite a while now. When you think of the dangers of the sea, sharks definitely make it on the list because the way they are depicted in movies and cartoons. However, Shark Awareness Day is not just not just a day to cry foul at said innocent fish, but instead a day to crying foul for them. The strong and extremely resilient predators are, in fact, more scared of humans than the other way around. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. I was like, we're seeing too many movies.
There's a bigger chance of being struck by lightning than being killed or attacked by a shark from being killed because humans are scared of them. And basically, there's bad news for sharks right now as far as the environment. There is too much going on in regards to kind of hunting them down, trying to take their fins and their meat. So it's Shark Awareness Day, guys. I'm not saying go swim with any sharks.
Yeah.
Is it Shark Week? Is it Shark
And
Week
that's
on
what I was
Discovery
just about
Channel?
to say.
I
Is
think
it Shark Week?
I think I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna check. All right.
Because I used to love Shark Week. Like Shark Week
I
was
love Shark Week,
everything.
man.
I
I
mean,
love Shark.
again, not celebrating them nor getting in the water with them, but definitely celebrate. Like, I love Shark Week.
Oh, look, Larry says, "Stop it, Flats."
See, Larry, come in with your bad energy this morning.
I
Stop
agree
it.
with Larry.
All right, guys. Thanks, Lee. Have
Thanks,
a great
guys.
one. Enjoy yourself at Carnegie Inn this week.
Yeah, I won't be there,
Oh, you won't be there?
unfortunately.
Be there.
I
Be there
won't,
in
but I will
spirit.
be there in spirit. I will be waving my flag and
All right.
She said,
hi.
yeah, I won't be there.
I won't be there this year, but no,
Well,
definitely go flat.
I think we know why. All right. See you later. Have a
See
good
you guys
one.
later. Bye.
Bye.
All right. We'll be right back after this commercial break, but please stay tuned for our conversation today with Khamani Fox. She's going to discuss her journey as a creative in Bermuda. We'll be right back.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors, and not to mention the support stocking.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
So you've made your petty request. Now what? You will either get the requested records or be denied access to them. If you disagree with the response that you received to your petty request, the Information Commissioner's Office can review that response. The ICO is an independent public office that protects and enforces the rights under the Petty Act. Petty requesters have a legal right to an Information Commissioner's review, and it's free.
ICO's investigators will examine how a public authority handled your petty request. If you did not get the records that you requested, we will look at the public authority's reasoning against the actual records to assess their response to your petty request.
Based on the investigators' findings, the Petty Act, and guided by the principles of integrity, fairness, and independence, I will issue a decision on whether the Petty Act requires that the public should have access to those records.
The Information Commissioner's decisions are legally binding and published on ICO.bm. When you make a petty request, rest assured that the ICO is there to uphold, protect, and enforce Petty Act rights. Visit ICO.bm to learn more.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Welcome back to the big show. I'm Philip. She's Sherry. Thanks for making us part of your day. If you haven't already, by the way, please make sure you're subscribed to our website so you don't miss a chance for updates, promotions, prizes, and more. And if you're on the go and you can't watch, then make sure you download the BCG radio app. It's available for both Android and Apple devices, and you can listen to us every single live episode, which is very cool. I haven't tried that yet. I need to try that.
I have.
It's nice? Works?
Yeah.
Wanna go?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
nice. All right. Also, have you registered to take part of the exclusive TDH community yet? If not, the first events are taking place July 21st and 22nd. That's a week from today. So sign up today so you don't miss a chance to enjoy the benefits of activities and events that we'll be having throughout the year. Go to our website, thedailyhour.com, click register right on the homepage, and get in on the action. Ready for our guest today, Sherry?
I am. I'm
Let's
excited.
welcome Khamani Fox from 7 South Productions. How you doing, Khamani?
Hi, I am great. Thanks. How's everyone doing today?
We're doing really well. Thanks for joining us today.
Lovely.
Thank you for having me.
Excited for this conversation. We don't know about being a creative, or not creative, but a creative director, especially from somebody coming from Bermuda as well, and have made done very successful with it. I know that you've been many things and had many roles. You know, I don't know if you know, Khamani used to or still does model. She, has a whole I would say she's a seamstress, and on top of collecting clothes, and does a whole lot of things. But your current title is Creative Director for Seven South Productions. Tell us about Seven South Productions and your role as Creative Director on the team.
So Seven South Productions is a merger. So I started my own production house about 5 years ago. And so what happened is another production house who focused on videography approached me on a project. So we collaborated on a project for a local retailer. And from that project, more business came out of it. And it just made sense for us to merge resources to bring everything under one house. So that way it's less competition, and that way we can provide better services for other retailers and other prospective clients underneath one umbrella. So it's been a journey. It's been quite interesting because my partners aren't individuals that I knew beforehand. So, growing up in Bermuda, you got a feel for who's in the industry and who's not. So I didn't know my partners beforehand. We sort of, our businesses and the industry sort of picked us to be in business together. So it was definitely a learning curve. I'm getting adjusted to the way that we individually do things and our thought processes. And then also we're so used to doing multiple things within our own businesses because, with entrepreneurship, you're not just that specific role, you're also the accountant, you're also PR. You're everything. And so having to set boundaries and limitations on those roles so that you don't step on other people's toes that are better at doing those things than you are. So it's definitely been a challenge, but a challenge that I'm glad we were able to work through, because it's definitely allowed me to shine in my role as a creative director and not have to focus on the other things. My headphones just seem to be wanting to fall out, but just not having to focus on the other things and have those outside distractions. So yeah, definitely interesting, definitely exciting.
Awesome.
Nice, man. So as the creative director for Seven South Productions, like just give us a quick understanding of exactly what your role entails.
So I am the person at the head of the ship in terms of establishing the visual direction for a project. So I'm the one who sits in the meeting, listens to a client's needs, and then interprets that, and then figures out what we should be doing in respect to the media that particular project is going to be displayed on. I'm also the person who says, okay, well, this is the overall vision, but what's needed to make that vision come to life? So the team members that are needed, whether that's set design, whether that's wardrobe styling and makeup, and then the technical aspects of it. So whether it's a video production or if it's a photography-based project. So assigning the correct photographer to the project so that they can capture that vision. And then also just overseeing all of those pieces to make sure that they stay aligned with the brand, and also with the expectation of the client, and then also the expectation of the company. So that's it in a nutshell. What creative director does a lot, not just the person who shows up and says, okay, stand here, take this type of picture, and yes, I got a great shot. It's so many other factors that go into it.
And so it's interesting that you indicated that you have to pull all of those things together, right? So when we think about creative director or just taking a shoot, a lot of people think birthday, a lot of people think maternity, a lot of people think those kind of things. But you also do work with products, right?
Yes.
So what is the difference between the two?
So with product photography, obviously it's mainly focused on the product, but you really want to capture the essence of the brand. So not just the product that you're shooting, for instance, if it's a face cream or if it's a t-shirt, but you want to capture the essence of the brand and what that brand is, that brand identity, and what it is that brand's setting out to do within that product. Now, when you go over to like the bespoke photo shoots with like the birthday and the maternity stuff, it's capturing the client's vision of how they see themselves. So again, staying on target, but it's just a different medium that you're working with. So something's a physical product, and then you have an actual person with emotions and expectations. And you have to take all of those into consideration. The product is just a product. It doesn't have those feelings. So stay aligned with the brand, but it's a lot less communication with the actual medium that you're working with.
So you have you worked with Phil?
No, trust me, I am out of this space. Well, I'm not totally out of this space, but I'm just getting back in.
No, I'm talking about as taking a picture and so
Oh
forth.
no.
Okay,
Nobody wants that job now.
No, he kind of floats between product and person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Khamani, I want to talk about let's talk about money, right? Because that seems to be like a taboo type of subject in Bermuda and generally, and then when it comes to paying for creative work, right? So I've heard people talk about how like people want a client might want like a Van Gogh masterpiece, but they got a Crayola budget, right? So like how do you make sure that that you guys are making sure that you get paid what you feel you're worth for the work that you're doing, and making that clear to the client from the get-go? And how do you manage it, like any objections to, oh, you guys are too expensive? How do you deal with that? And can you give any tips to up and coming people who up and coming creatives in the space that might be dealing with that type of thing?
It's funny that you said that, because we have this running joke in our company. It's a sketch that goes across Instagram, or it turns out really beautiful on the end, and it's a horse.
Yep.
It has all the detail to the front of it. Right? It's like a stick horse.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that has been a journey in the industry here. So I was having a conversation about this just recently, actually, as of last night. In Bermuda, the creative industry isn't new, but the standardization and the thought that creatives need to be compensated is a new idea, because it's thought before like, oh, well, it's a hobby. You don't need to be paid for it. I need some pictures taken. You should just take it. I think it has to do with the mindset of our society that in Bermuda, in order to be paid and get fair compensation, you should be in like one of the traditional professions. So either a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, in corporate insurance or anything like that. And those are thought to be those professions that deserve higher pay. Now with like the advent of social media and as well as the digital age, so not just social media, but where things are now going more digitally, creatives are now being respected in that realm. Bermuda takes, for what I've found at least, is that Bermuda, we tend to have a lag between what's happening in the industry internationally and then what's happening here locally on our shores. So it has been a challenge. We've had to do a lot of education, expectation setting. We have this famous question in our company. It's like, okay, what would you like to pay for this project? What do you think this project cost? And then the client will give us a figure. And if they're not familiar with production, which most clients aren't, they'll give us, say for instance, a project could be like a $15,000 project. And then they'll be like, oh, I want to pay $1,000. I want, you to drop me out of a helicopter, and I want you to swim with the sharks. And I want to do all of this stuff. And then they say $1,000. And so we have to really have our poker faces on and be like, okay, well, let's educate you a bit on what goes into this, because it's not just me as the creative director and a photographer. It's a whole team of individuals that are very skilled in their industries and with their disciplines. So you're paying for their experience, you're paying for that expertise. So once we do that education piece of clients, of course, we're going to get those ones that are like, you guys are just still too expensive. And then we realize that those aren't our ideal clients. And so we say, okay, well, we still nurture them a bit. So we add them to our email list. We make sure we still follow them on Instagram and on our social media platforms, and we still engage with them, because at the end of the day, they could convert into prospective clients for us. So we still nurture them, but then we focus on those clients that have a clear understanding. Once we do that education piece with them, they're like, okay, I get it. You guys are worth it. Let's go ahead and pay you for that. So yeah, it's about education and awareness, more so than anything. And then those who are your ideal clients are obviously going to work with you and see the value in that.
I like how you talked about the education and not just saying, okay, well, they think we're too expensive, let's just move on to the next person. Like the thought is they might come back around and become potential clients. I like that. We do have some comments from the audience, which a lot of people seem to be like, oh, she does a great job. Khamani says, Hindsight Fitness and Wellness says, Khamani is great. She's personable and very professional.
All right.
So you're getting some kudos from the audience.
Thank
Michelle
you.
White says, is that a nickname? She call you Kaki?
I think she meant to say Cammy.
Okay.
I am in the middle.
She says that you get the
Miss
job
Michelle
done.
has a nickname for me.
You take people out of the comfort zone. When you think she's awkward, she has the vision. Definitely worth her $. Now, Jamal brought in a good point. He says, I think one of the challenges many encounter is not knowing the difference between personal and professional brands. Can you speak to how important it is to know the difference? That's a good question. I'm not just saying that because it's the boss. It's a good question.
Yes, definitely. So you do have, everyone is a brand, whether we like it or not in today's world. Everybody, you as a person are a brand. But the way in which you communicate and the way in which you carry yourself and the way in which you engage with others and conduct business is what separates you from being just a personal, I'm doing this for fun brand and a professional brand. And the other thing is also teamwork and collaboration, and having that understanding that, we can do a lot on our own, but we can go a lot farther if we work together. So I think that really separates the difference, because even behind individuals who are just individual brands, they still have a team who works with them to make sure that they are presented in the best light possible. And they serving their clients in the best way possible. So we have we have those creators in the island who are like, I'm getting my foothold in the industry. I have this interest, but you have some grooming that needs to be done, some refinement, so brushing off the rough edges that need to be done in order to establish yourself as a professional brand. And then also the product that you're producing at the end of the day will also establish you as that professional brand. Identifying your audience, knowing that avatar and being able to best serve them will also do that, and gives that distinction between whether it's a personal brand, something that's a hobby versus something's professional.
Yeah, man. That's that was a great response. We do have some more questions. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, what is the main challenge you face as a creative in Bermuda?
Oh, Mark, that is a complex question. It's like an onion, and you have many layers to that. I definitely think there are 4 things right now that, as a creative, I find challenging, and it's something that the company Seven Self, we have found to be challenging in the industry as well. So the first thing I think I spoke about is just the lack of understanding and appreciation for the role, particularly as my role as creative director, because the production industry, the film industry, in this regard of what we're doing is relatively new. There are only very well-known, like 2 or 3 very well-known production houses in Bermuda, but their production houses don't have the creative director. They are the photographer, the videographer, and those photographer, videographer sometimes function as a creative director. So definitely the lack of understanding and appreciation, and then obviously the thought that I don't really need a creative director, so I don't really need you, so why should I pay you? So that around it as well. The other thing is like the lack of collaboration for creatives. So it's what I found is we have a very crab in a bucket mentality as well. I don't like you. I don't want to work with you because of whatever bias or beef that it has been established maybe 10 years ago, right? I mean, you guys were talking about bullying, so it could be something related to that. But it's like, well, I'm not going to work with you because of whatever reason. And so I'm keeping all my knowledge and I'm keeping all my skills and my tools to myself. And so what we have always advocated for and will continue to do is for creatives to come together and to possibly in the future form some sort of association so that we can standardize the market. And what that will do is avert one of those other challenges that we're having right now, which is the market being undercut. So if we come together and we have that standardization for services, that quality standardization, then now you're being selected because of your talent and not because of your price. So I think I actually put point 4 with point 3, but those are some of the challenges that we're currently experiencing.
Wow. Let me just ask you, and how do you become a creative director? What training or what things that do you have to have in place to become that? And is that something others can also follow as well?
Yes, definitely. Great question, Shari. So you have two different routes you can take, at least from my research. So you have an unorthodox route, which is definitely the route that I took. And then you have the traditional route. So the traditional route is you can get a background in art and visual arts, or fine arts degree. You can get a background in marketing or graphic design, something related to art. And then you find yourself in a company, or you found a company that you work with, and then you start to throw your ideas out there and the creative direction out there. And then you start to work with the team. So typically, most creative directors in film would get like a background in production or a background in film or photography. And then you have those in marketing that, again, have that background in like graphic design. So that's one route that you can get into it. Or you can follow the unorthodox route, which sometimes takes a bit longer, which I took because we live in Bermuda. So because the industry is relatively new and the financial compensation wasn't there, I decided to get a degree in nursing. So by trade, by degree, I am a nurse. But I still had that passion for art. I still had that passion for design. It's been there since I was as old as I can remember, truthfully. So I did a lot of research and development, and I like watched Rip the Runway and what's the top model at any fashion show that I can possibly see before we had the advent of YouTube. Because, back then we had cable in the late 90s and early 2000s. And then I also I ripped out pages out of magazines. I still have my book to this day. I just ripped out every picture that I liked, every outfit that I liked. And I shadowed those people that were in creative industries. So my mom's a seamstress. I wouldn't say by trade, but more by hobby, which is actually a really good one. So I would like study and spend some time with her. And then I worked in a fabric store. And then I would design my own stuff, and then I modeled. And so I got around photographers and I got around videographers. And so I got into it that way. An international photographer happens to be one of my good friends now, approached me about being a model. And he was coming to Bermuda with his wife on vacation. And so I was like, okay, well, what do you want to do? And he was like, you figure it out. I'm coming. You do everything. So I was like, all right. So that was like my into it. So I did that. I planned out the entire photo shoot literally from Dockyard to Blue Hill. Still have those images that live on my Instagram. Very proud of this. And then I put that work out there. And from that, others were like, okay, well, can I use you to do whatever it is that I want to do? Can you help me bring my vision to life?
Wow.
So that's where the business essentially established itself and grew. It started from one client for a birthday shoot. And then it trickled into my friend Richard coming back to Bermuda and offering photo shoots under a company that I founded called Destination Photo Shoots. And then from that, it just built upon it and turned into like this snowball effect of more clients saying, hey, can you do this for me? More clients, can you do this for me?
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it.
The pictures that I've seen have been amazing. We can't forget one of your latest ones with the balloons and a crane and a swing and Black Watch Pass. And
that was
I
wild,
was like,
man.
what is this? This wild. If you all have seen it, and if you haven't, Khamani, can you please let people know where they can find you and where they can follow you?
Oh, yes, definitely. The most iconic shoot that I've done to date, the balloon photo shoot. It is located, it has a permanent place on my Instagram feed, which is Living in Cam. That's where the name LIK came from. So it's on Living in Cam, KHAM, as in behind the camera, on IG. And then also you can follow my work on the company's site as well. So Seven Self Productions, that's our Instagram handle, as well as our website, www.sevenselfproductions.com. So that's where you can find my work.
Nice, man. Awesome. You guys doing a great work. I did see you were out there during Carnival, right?
Yes, Felix. Felix was out there as director of videography. He was definitely out there.
Guys, some of the stuff you guys put out was really cool, man. We are out of time, but we just want to thank you, Khamani, for coming with us and spending some time with us this morning. Really appreciate you coming on. Keep up the good work. Kudos to Seven Self Productions, all the work that they're doing. And thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Kim.
Can
All
always
right,
tell
guys, have a great
when
day.
you can tell when it's one of Sherry's friends coming on.
Love is real. Just put it
It
there.
is.
Love is real.
All right, see you later.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Yeah, you too. All right, that was a great one. Sherry definitely looked like she had fun with that one.
Yeah, I can't wait to get my own photo shoot, to be honest. You know, it's like bam, bam.
Oh well, soon come.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back with our daily play. Sherry, you can go stretch while we're doing a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
I'm part of the SSCP, giving us opportunities to go out and sell, which is what I'm doing today.
One of the most important things I learned in the SSCP is that failure is just a part of being an entrepreneur.
As a vocal community, then you can't go anywhere, can you?
I just believe it's a really beautiful and amazing experience for everybody.
A lot of late nights being trying to finalize things, especially for me.
You don't have to do everything at once. Little steps is the key to success.
They helped me go through every step of the way.
It has helped me gain more confidence, so that's one thing.
I'm Marley Spriggs and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Joshua Allen and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Trey Robinson Richards and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Namira Rayner and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Vincent Darrow and I am an entrepreneur.
I'm Shayla Swan and I'm an entrepreneur.
I am Sophia Paxenhan. I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Zion and I'm a young entrepreneur.
Welcome back to the show. We are the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0, great taste, no alcohol, and Bermuda Trivia. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, Sherry, you stretch? Ready?
It's the Sherry.
Well, how you want me to say it? You're living it. See, you live in the state. That's why you don't hear people say your name like it's like we normally say it. What do you want to call you, Miss Vanderpool?
I like Sherry. Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
All right, question. St. George's initially hosted cup match at what field? You should be able to get this one.
Wasn't it? We had this earlier, right? Was it Royal Navy?
I don't have any music.
St. George's originally somewhere in St. George's.
Really? Somewhere in St. George?
It's an answer Jamal would have said.
You sure it wasn't in Warwick?
Possibly PHC Field?
No.
Felt like that was a hint.
And I don't have any, no, it wasn't a hint. I was being sarcastic.
All right.
Yeah,
the audience
and no, audience didn't get it. No, okay, so one person says RAA, that's not right.
Oh,
here we go. We got somebody, Garrison Field.
Oh.
That was the answer. Ding ding. I don't have any confetti or anything.
All right, Asta. Woo-woo.
Good job. But yeah.
Good job. No, I didn't know that.
All righty. How you want to wrap it up? How you feel about today's discussion?
I feel that it was a very good show, a very good discussion. Bullying, being bullied doesn't make you successful, people. Doesn't. And at 5 years old or whatever age, no one should be believing that. What we do need to believe is that a lot of kids, a lot of people need assistance through whatever trauma or whatever things are being made them to feel like they have to bully or hurt somebody else. As far as Khamani, I was very excited that she was coming on this show. Exactly, feel I was like, I love creative stuff. I've watched her over the last few years, and just the little things that she's been doing and putting out there that have become very big. So, and I believe, and I'm enjoying to understand what a creative director does. So I encourage people to go out and use the production as well as find out more about being a creative director themselves.
Yeah, man. I think it was a great conversation as well. The bullying thing, like, that's just not bully. Like, people carry trauma, and I don't think the bullying is what makes people a success. I think overcoming the bullying is, but nobody should have to do that in the first place.
Yeah.
With the creative stuff, man, pay your creatives. That's all I have to say. Like stop trying to nickel and dime and get stuff for free. Like, just pay these lot because they work hard. The equipment's expensive. They're doing a job just like anybody else. And what I would also say is, if you think paying for a creative director is expensive, how much is it going to cost you if that project goes wrong?
Oh,
That's how I always approach it when it comes to dealing with professionals. All
yeah,
right.
that was
So,
a whole thought.
go ahead. You got a daily inspiration for us?
I do. Become a possibilitarian.
What?
A possibilitarian. No matter how dark things seem to be or actually are, raise your sights and see possibilities. Always see them, for they are always there. And that was from Norman Vincent Peale. A possibilitarian. Get it
I'm
out,
gonna have to
Phil.
Google. No, I'm not even trying that. I didn't even know how to get that one out. Anyway, all right, everybody. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again tomorrow. She's Sherry. I'm Philip. Make it a great day. Make it a safe one, Bermuda. We love you. See you later.